Hi. Oh, congratulations on your anniversary. I'm just gonna start talking before people get in here. So, for the people who are here, thank you so much for your patience. Last few days have been kind of hectic, obviously, but I appreciate you guys being patient with me until I could finally actually end up doing this stream. So that really helps. Not a whole lot has been going on. Like I said, October is just a really busy month for me, so it's been mainly working, and I do have some dolls I plan to unbox on stream just for fun. They're not for the anniversary or anything, but I've been waiting on these. Mail's been delayed. They're finally here, and I'm really excited about them. Thank you. People have been saying they're kind of low quality, but just looking at them now, I don't know. They seem fine to me, but it might change when I reopen them. Who knows? But name 7 songs. There's like 157 of them. I really like most of the Misfits songs are the best though. Like I think that goes without saying. I really like Designing Woman. It's probably my favorite Gym song of all time. I think I'll do Sierra first because like every single unboxing video I've seen is of her. So I don't think she'll be a big surprise to anyone. I don't know if she's just the most popular character or if she was the one who was in stores out of everyone else. What do I think of their faces? I think Mari, her face is kind of perfect. Like I don't really see any issues with it. Sierra's, I see what people say. There's just something off about it a little bit. I think maybe if her eyes were a little higher, it would be a lot better. But I will say Mermaid High has like the best doll box art I've seen probably from any doll like ever. It's so pretty. I wish I knew who the artist was. I would absolutely follow them. Yeah, I really like Mari's style too. That's probably why she's one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite, although I do really like Sierra too. I know this has been said 1,000 times, but she reminds me a lot of Briar from Ever After High. And even personality wise, she seems a little bit like that too. Where do I start with these? Packaging is kind of weird. Spin Master created Mermaid High, so these will probably exist for about a month. Spin Master loves to make cool doll lines and then just like abandon them without notice. I'm probably doing this the wrong way, but my doll boxes never make it out unscathed. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I'm really happy to see you guys here. I'm sorry it took so long, but I am feeling a lot better. I just have really bad allergies that like to kick me in the face every now and then. Yesterday was one of those days. Thankfully, I didn't work, so thank you, and hello. Welcome to the stream. You come just in time to see me struggle. Thank you. I'm so glad to see a lot of fellow gym fans. I don't see a lot of gym fans. I mean, I know they're out there. I think everyone's a gym fan at their core. It's not something a lot of people talk about, even though she's really amazing. She's probably one of my favorite cartoons for quite a long time. I remember when she aired on, I don't remember the name of the channel, but it was the same place that My Little Pony used to air on. And I would watch it on TV all the time. What doll did you get in the mail? Oh, the Hub. It was the Hub. They also had that Transformers show, and they aired a lot of old, like, 80s cartoons. That was actually pretty cool. I'm guessing it was probably a Hasbro channel. That would make sense, I guess. "24 karat DJ, that's cool. I don't have her, but she is a very, very neat doll. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. That's very sweet of you to say. What are your thoughts on Lollipop Girls from 2002? I don't own any. I've been kind of like eyeing them on eBay every now and then because I do think they're really, really cute. I don't know if I'll ever get one. I think I might cave and do it eventually. They're just not like super high on my priority, but I think they're super unique, very, very well designed dolls. And I would love to see more collectors get into them because I've watched a few unboxings about them and they're just so interesting. I swear I'll get this open eventually. Oh my gosh. Finally. So we have a comb. It's pretty. Okay. Hello. I like porcelain dolls too. I don't know if you saw my newest video, but I talked about it a little bit. Oh. So she has a little laptop. That's kind of a cool accessory. I always like these little accessories that they don't really have a point, but you know, they're here and they're just cool and they add a little bit of personality. I think in here are her earrings, so I'm going to save that for a little later. So I am opening a Mermaid High doll. And I see I have a spam bot in my live stream. That's fun. That's a first. Does that mean I've officially made it? Thanks, guys. I'm so happy that I'm finally getting adult website spam bots on my live streams. I feel like I can officially call myself an influencer now. Do I have moderators? I don't, but I probably should assign some. Although I never really thought I'd need one because I didn't think I'd ever have this many subscribers in my entire life. And I never thought my streams would get very popular. But I guess that is something I need to think about now. Yeah, I have wondered, Annabella, why this one seems to be the only one in stores. But I do have Mari here because I ordered these off the Walmart website. And they took forever to get here because the mail's been very, very delayed. Will I make a video about the Bratz Rock Angel Repros? Not them specifically, but I do have a Bratz doll video planned, which we'll talk about them a little bit. I'm just waiting to get more information on the designer dolls before I talk about it because it's in a video like talking about all the different Bratz eras, what I like, what I don't like about them. And I have very many thoughts on this current era where they're not obviously not putting a lot of effort into the dolls. But yes, the shoes are quite cute. It's hard to see on camera, but they have this little detail here on the heel, which is really neat. They're so cute. This is about the quality I expected from Spin Master, I think. Oh, thank you, doll. My channel has grown a lot in such a short period of time, and I still don't know how to feel about it entirely, other than happy, obviously, but it's just still hasn't hit me that like there's so many people that like my videos and want to watch my content because I just struggle a lot with anxiety and self-doubt, and it's really validating to have the audience that I have, but I haven't completely defeated that little voice in the back of my head. But we don't have to talk about that. We have to be happy. I am very happy. Thank you guys so much. Like, I wish I could just spend this whole stream saying thank you, thank you, thank you, because I am just so floored and excited that, like, my channel is only going to get better from here, and I can't wait. I have so many things planned, and thank you guys. I'm getting like emotional. Like, I'm sorry, but obviously, thank you guys again. Thank you. Will suffer from looking like a knockoff. I hope the Bratz coming later this year, the designer dolls actually look nice. I hope they're gonna put effort into the dolls this time. I would love to see that. I don't know. It just seems like they don't want to target Bratz fans. They just want to target people who vaguely remember Bratz from their childhood. So they're not really caring about catering to collectors. And it just feels like the exact opposite of what they need to do. So I am feeling a little bit pessimistic about the upcoming Bratz dolls, but I might be proven wrong. We will see. Oh, I will say I love, like, just the look and feel of this skirt. It's a very, very well-made piece. But it is, unfortunately, that really fake pleather, very similar to what MGA uses a lot, that's probably going to crack over time. So just, if you have it, be sure to take care of it. Would you consider about talking about Todd McFarlane dolls? I'm not super familiar with Todd McFarlane. I think his products qualify more as figures than they do dolls. But honestly, that line doesn't really matter in reality. It's really just more of people's perception of it than it is an actual distinction between figures and dolls. So I might look into them someday. I do want to make a video specifically kind of over action figures and how society views them so differently from dolls, even though they're more or less the same thing. I think that'd be a really interesting topic to look into. There's a person here that is just like strapped in for dear life. I don't want to. There we go. It's a pretty basic purse. They have like a little knockoff Gucci pattern, I guess it would be, but with seashells. So it's very cute. Okay, now for Sierra herself. What do I think of her hair? It feels fine in the box. It does look a little messy, but what doll isn't a little messy right out of the box? But once I get her out, we'll see it. I saw the Mermaid High, the first webisode premiere today. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, though. But I'm excited for it. I hope that since they have a webisode, they're going to invest a little more into this brand and not do their Spin Master thing of just abandoning it in 6 months. Have you decided which historical American girl doll you want to get? Yeah. After I did that video around my birthday, I did treat myself. I got a Samantha and a Kit doll secondhand. So I fixed them up a little bit, really bonded with them, and now I love them a lot. I have Samantha in her tea dress and Kit in her school outfit. They're both so, so cute. Please do a video on flavas. Flavas are very, very interesting because, like you said, they're just so hilariously out of touch. Yeah, they'd be a good topic for a video. What do I think of the new holiday Rapunzel? I think she's cute. I think Rapunzel dolls all kind of suffer from the problem that they never look a whole lot like her character. And I think it's the fact that since she's a CGI model, when we see like a physical 3D figure of her, it's a lot harder to see it as her, whereas the 2D characters don't really have that problem as much. So I don't really like a lot of Rapunzel dolls because they just don't look like her to me. And the holiday doll, unfortunately, isn't really an exception to that. Do you think you'll be buying the re-released Rock Angels dolls? No, I will not be buying them. If I wanted a Rock Angels doll, I would probably just get one of the original releases. But Rock Angels really isn't a line I'm crazy about. I really like Roxy from that line, and I kind of did want her repro since she was being released individually, and that's really cool. But you've seen her doll. She's not worth it. You ended up getting a Samantha too? That's awesome. Samantha's probably my favorite character. But down the line, I do also really want Melody and Danae. It's just American Girl dolls are really expensive, so I can't buy them all at once, unfortunately. But someday. I hear that there's a new historical girl coming who might be from the 1920s, finally. I feel like that's really overdue, but she should be fun. Oh, her head popped out real easily. That's nice. Have I watched the Dream Ella webisode yet? I didn't know there was Dream Ella webisodes. I'll have to look into that. That sounds like they're probably awful, and I love that. Or are they like surprisingly good? Let me know. These are the toughest rubber bands, but she's almost done. Yeah, 1920s would be a really cool era because when we think 1920s, we always think, like you said, like speakeasies or like flapper girls, and never really what children were doing in that time. So it would be really interesting. Now that you're doing videos where you show your face, where you put up some shelves on the wall as backing, I thought about it because I know I just have this boring white wall behind me. So I do need to spruce it up a little bit. You are correct. So probably some posters or something I'll look into just to have something behind me. Oh, hello. It's so nice to see you here. I'm unboxing Sierra from Mermaid High, the icon herself. And I also have Mari with me, who I will struggle to unbox in a minute. So I should do a collection tour. I do need to do a collection video. The problem is that it just won't be very interesting because I share a room with my boyfriend. So I have like my half of the room where I just have a bunch of shelves in the corner kind of all lined up together. And it's not like a cool doll room or anything. So it would be just kind of like a quick, here's everything I have. So, but in the future, I probably will. Oh, that's so nice to see, Mars. I'm so glad that you're finding joy in your dolls. I will say something about her hair, although it feels really soft, kind of fluffy. It does come out of her head very easily. I don't know if it's just loose hairs, but like every time it just keeps like kind of coming out. So be careful with that if you do get her. Yeah, there is a bunch of stuff I could possibly put up here. The thing is, I just have to get it cleared with my boyfriend. So, because this is our dining room, which is directly behind our living room, because I live in a tiny kind of shoebox apartment. So it's directly visible to anyone who comes into our house, which is fine with me, but it might not be fine with him. So, just like feeling her now, a lot of people said they felt really cheap or low quality, and like just having her in my hand, I can say I definitely don't agree with that. She feels fine. Her clothes feel fairly well made. I think just for the price point, they are a little much. I would probably put them like around $20, but like we see with MGA, doll prices in the last year are inflating pretty heavily. So I do kind of get it. Like, so I'm not mad at it, but people who aren't willing to pay $27 for them, I get it. I really, really get it. But I think they feel objectively, they feel fun. They feel quality. They feel, like you said, they are giving what they're supposed to give. And I'm not mad at them at all. But here she is again. I'm going to put her in her skirt because I think it's such a cool, interesting piece. As much as I love her mermaid form. No, they don't come with stands, unfortunately. But I do have stands for them that I bought off Amazon for very cheap, which I use for all my dolls who don't have stands. So her articulation isn't super. This is about as far as it goes, but the fact she's articulated at all, they really didn't have to, since in the box her leg is hidden by the mermaid thing, the mermaid tail. So I'm just happy it's there, honestly. Have I ever been interested in porcelain dolls? So I have. I love porcelain dolls. I don't own any right now, but my last video I made talks a little bit about that. She has so much hair. I love it. Like, this is just so, it's so cool, honestly. Will I do any LOL OMG unboxings? Yeah, I do kind of want to unbox the Movie Magic 2-pack when I finally get it. I would love to unbox that here on stream because I'm in love with that set. Both dolls look so amazing. I'm kind of obsessed with them. What's your favorite kind of porcelain doll? I'm more inclined to the more recently made ones. I think the antique ones are cool, but they're just not my personal interest. I really like the ones that come out of like probably the 70s or 80s that are a bit like recreations of the older ones, and the huge frilly gowns and the huge ringlets. I think they're so adorable. Do I think I will open a PO box sometime in the future? Yeah, I might. I probably will. I just have to figure out how. It's not something I've ever done before. Okay. I know she has socks somewhere. There they are. I almost missed them. You said last time you streamed that you had an Instagram account, but you're not active. I am planning to be more active. I still haven't kind of reopened that account. But now that I've hit 10,000, like that was like what I kept telling myself. Like once I hit 10,000, I will open up an account, or I'll get back into Instagram. So probably in the next week or so, I will make a new post. Primarily, I used it for fan art, but I think it's going to be a more general account now for showing off the dolls and everything. And I'm about to ban this person. There we go. I know you focus on fashion dolls, but I'd love to see you do a tier ranking or first impressions of the $250 soft sculpt Cabbage Patch dolls on their website. I didn't know Cabbage Patch dolls were back. Or did they ever go away? I guess. Here are her socks, finally. But I kind of vaguely remember Cabbage Patch Kids from my childhood, but I was just never interested in dolls that look like children, because to me, like dolls styled like babies or young children, the expectation of playing with them was that you were supposed to like take care of them. And I was never really interested in that. You know, I wanted to enact the 12-part lesbian soap opera murder mystery I had in my head. And I couldn't do that with Cabbage Patch dolls or baby dolls. But now maybe as an adult, I wouldn't mind revisiting them and seeing what was up, because people went crazy for them for a reason, right? There had to be a reason. When do you think the Britney Spears LOL OMG doll will come out? Probably around the holiday season, like around late November, because MGA loves to dump all of its products around the holiday season, so I would expect that. Do you think Rainbow High will continue to dominate the market next year? I think that entirely depends on if the Monster High reboot is good or not. Because if the Monster High reboot is good, I think it is going to take over the world again, because that is just in Monster High's nature to do. If it flops, then yeah, probably Rainbow High will continue to be. Well, actually, it's LOL OMG, I think, is technically the #1 doll line, and I don't see that really changing. But I do see Monster High overtaking Rainbow High if the reboot is good. Do you think they will reboot Ever After High? I don't think Mattel will ever touch Ever After High again, unfortunately. I just don't think it's something they're interested in doing, which breaks my heart, but they haven't given any indication that it's something they plan to do or want to do. So I just don't see it happening personally, unfortunately. I will say her earrings are kind of weird. Like she has one that looks like a mermaid, one that's like this big hoop earring. I don't know. I didn't see her as a mismatched earring kind of girl. Would you do a video about Winx Club and ranking all the dolls from each company? I think that would be a good, interesting video to do. It would just take a lot of research because there's so many different generations and companies that makes Winx Club dolls, and I would have to get that all organized. But it is something I did want to do eventually. What do you want from the reboot in Monster High? I think having a more kind of overarching storyline would be cool. Like one of my favorite things about the original generation of Monster High was that they had all this cool stuff with the school going on and like mystery surrounding the school. And I thought that was so cool that they kept referencing it and bringing it back in certain times. So I would love to see them dig into that, make it maybe just a little darker would be really cool. But also, I think Monster High should stick to its main cast a lot more than it did in the first generation. Kind of did with the second generation, but it didn't go on long enough to really see the cast expand too much. But I think Monster High has such a strong core cast that, we don't need a movie about every time they introduce a new character. Just give us adventures with the main ghouls. That's what we really need. And there were honestly way too many Monster High characters. You couldn't love them all. Who is your fave Monster High character? My favorite character is probably Laguna or Draculaura, because I loved Laguna at first, and then they kind of destroyed her character after she started dating Gil. So then I kind of got drawn more to Draculaura, and she became my favorite after that. But I love them both still. Laguna dolls were always my favorite, but I really love Draculaura dolls too, so I definitely had the most of them. Do you think they will ever make a mythology-based doll line? I don't know if they will, but I think it would be really, really cool if they did. A lot of people will say like old Greek mythology isn't appropriate for children, but they do it all the time. Just look at Percy Jackson. So, but then if they did do it, I think the Percy Jackson comparisons would be inevitable. So it'd be kind of rocky ground, but we'll see. Do I like Bratz or my scene better? I feel like I'm never going to be able to escape that question, and I'm never ever going to have an answer. It's always going to be that I think they both did some things very well, Some things could be improved upon, but they filled their niches successfully, and they're both amazing doll brands in their own rights. Did I play on the MyScene website? I did. That website raised me, basically. I spent hours upon hours on there. But here she is. Here's Sierra, even though she's been on like 20 YouTube videos by now. But she's really cool, actually. The length of her hair is really cool. It feels nice. Her clothes are well made. She is essentially what I expected her to be, and I'm not mad at her at all. I kind of love her, actually. But now it's Mari's turn, so let's dig into her now, so I can spend 20 minutes tearing her box to shreds. What's your fave Disney movie? The Little Mermaid. It's predictable. If you know me, you know I'm obsessed with mermaids, and I love The Little Mermaid with all my heart. I had The Little Mermaid 2 on VHS when I was little. It was one of those movies I had to watch every single day of my life until my parents got sick of it. But I can probably quote that movie completely from memory, even though I haven't seen it in years because I loved it so much. Do you think MGA pays the Chinese factory workers poorly to afford more quality for their doll lines? I couldn't say. Honestly, I'm not privy to MGA's practices, but considering they are a huge corporation, it's very, very likely that they're probably underpaying their workers. Best modern doll brands in regards to hair quality. Probably Lol Omg. I don't have every doll in that collection, but I haven't had a doll that, oh hey, another spam bot. Awesome. But I haven't had a doll that where I was unhappy with the quality of their hair. Right, is it okay if you repeat questions? Yes. If I skip over a question, it's totally not on purpose, so feel free to ask it again. Sometimes the chat just moves too fast. And, I want to answer as many questions as I can. So, yeah, if I skip one, feel free to ask it again. It's totally fine. Have you gotten Series 3? Yes, I have. I only got Cheryl and Georgia. They're the only ones I think I'm super interested in right now. But if the others go on sale, I might get them too. If you ever had the opportunity to create your own doll line, what would it be? What would it be about? So, interesting question, because if I was going to make my own doll line, it would be this. It would be a mermaid-themed doll line in the same vein of like Rainbow or Monster High, where it's just cute mermaids, girls being cute, being friends, doing teenage mermaid things. But I probably would went, like personally, obviously I would went in a different direction than they did with the characters. But it's giving me my dream doll line right now, and I love Mermaid High so much, like just from the principle of it and the fact I love mermaids. So, do I have any Grail dolls right now? So, this is gonna sound so weird, but the doll that I recently really fell in love with was the Madame Alexander Nancy Drew doll from 1967 that is impossible to find, but I think she's so cute, and I guess I'm just hungry for a Nancy Drew doll that's exists because I love Nancy Drew. She's a big part of my childhood. I watched the CW show religiously. But also I'm still looking for that Teen Trends 2nd edition Gabby doll, who has continued to elude me for years upon years, but someday I will have her. Is there a reason why you hate the Millie sculpt so much? I just think it's ugly. I think it lacks personality, and I think it lacks glamour. But the thing is, as someone pointed out in the last time I did a stream, or a few people pointed it out actually, the Millie sculpt isn't the problem per se. It's the fact that Mattel refuses to do anything interesting with it. They just give her the same face on every single doll that has the Millie sculpt. And it just gets boring, and I don't like it. I miss when Barbie was, more glamorous. And also, I'm more inclined, personally, to think of Barbie as an adult more than a teenager, and the Millie sculpt just looks a lot more childish to me. I know canonically she's 17 years old, but she's always going to be like, an adult career woman to me. That's always going to be how Barbie is in my head. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind. I'm sorry. Do I thrift for dolls often? No, I want to, but where I live just doesn't have a lot of options, I think, which I thought since I just moved to a bigger city, my options would open up and I'd have a ton of thrift stores to go to all the time and I'd be finding all my grails for like $5, but no, that's not what happened. It is so dry here. I've gone a few times and I have found absolutely nothing. I even wanted to make like a vlog of me going thrifting and maybe finding something cool, but it didn't happen because I didn't find anything. Like I didn't find a doll at all. Do you have any tips for fixing doll hair if it looks horrible right out of the box? Usually just washing it will make it sit better. If you don't have the time or energy for like a whole boil wash, honestly, just running it under water and letting it dry into the style you want will help a lot. Will you be getting the RH sleepover line? I will. I definitely want Robin and Brianna. Marissa, I'm kind of on the fence about. I don't love her that much, but I'm disappointed they're $50 for sure because I think that's really overpriced. And I even complained about that with the Rockstar girls, saying I wouldn't get them because I thought they were overpriced. So maybe that's a little hypocritical of me, but I think that the sleepover dolls are just cuter. They look better. I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get them. Thoughts on MLP and their toy lines? I like My Little Pony. I think it's cute. I don't collect it. I was a fan for a little bit in the G4 era. Rarity was my favorite, so I had a few toys of her, but I was never like a very serious collector. Will I be getting the 24-inch Amaya? Probably not, because I don't have the space in my house for a 24-inch doll. But I think she's cool. It's purely a space thing. It's not like a I don't like her thing, because I do actually really like her, and I think I would love to have a doll that big just for the novelty, but I would have nowhere to put her. Will you be getting a Rainbow High rocker doll? So I will not, because I said they were overpriced, and then the sleepover girls are the same price, so my argument doesn't hold that much water anymore. But I just don't like the Rockstar girls that much. They're not that interesting to me. Which is your fave summer party doll? Some days it is Brianna, some days it is Robin. They're both so cute. They're like equally cute. I cannot decide at all. Do you collect the Miraculous Ladybug dolls? No. I used to watch the show a little bit. I don't anymore because I just don't really like it. I'm sorry if that sounds mean, but I did not enjoy the show at all. I'm sorry, Flickering. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a good birthday. I miss Glamour Barbie too. Yeah. I just want her to, like, the rewind dolls for Barbie are giving me everything I want, even though those are like $50 too. So I don't know. Is that just going to be like the new standard for dolls I want? I can barely afford them as it is, but that's how it goes. Do you think Monster High dolls were expensive to design, mold, and produce? Because Bratz fans often say they are cheaply made. So, obviously, a lot of what Bratz fans say about Monster High comes from a place of contempt and not like a genuine examination of the dolls. Some Monster High dolls, like in comparison to some Bratz dolls, yeah, they're a little cheaply made. But there's plenty of Monster High dolls that are great quality too. So again, it's just that kind of childish doll feuding that goes back and forth. What does your BF think about your hobby, and does he help doll hunt too? So my boyfriend, he doesn't completely understand it, but he does support me, especially since I started this channel and I've shown him there's so many other people out there who collect and are interested in dolls. That's really opened his eyes. He was never mean about it. He never was not supportive about it, but he just didn't understand it in the way a lot of people don't. But I feel like he's really warmed up to it a lot. Thoughts on Raggedy Ann? So I did have a Raggedy Ann doll when I was very, very young, before I really got into fashion dolls. Just because, I was young and she was real floppy and easy to hug, so I kind of carried her with me everywhere. So I don't really have any thoughts on her, like as a brand or as a doll. I just remember that childhood Raggedy Ann I have, and she makes me happy and feel comfortable. So I would say she's a solid, good doll. Rainbow High doll openings in this video. No Rainbow High dolls in this video, just Mermaid High. Do you think Rainbow High will last as long as Barbie? Probably not. I think Rainbow High is very much a product of its time. And as dolls, as we as people just advance fashion-wise, trend-wise, I think Rainbow High is going to become very dated very quickly, and much like the 2015 Bratz. Like, the clothes and quality were fine. They just became dated so fast, so people weren't that interested in them. So I think that's probably what's going to happen to Rainbow High. And it's weird. Something that's like 2 or 3 years old, we find super dated and ugly and horrible. But then like 5 to 10 years later, we're like, oh, that's so vintage and cute. And that's exactly what's happening with the 2015 Bratz right now. So Rainbow High will probably have a collector's resurgence shortly after it gets discontinued. I definitely see that happening. Favorite Ever After High character? This is going to be the most predictable answer ever, but it is Michelle Mermaid, because she is a mermaid. And also, I really loved her, even though she got 1 book and 1 webisode dedicated to her, but I really, really loved her. She was everything to me. But I also really liked Briar and Blondie before Michelle were introduced. Those were my 2 favorite characters. What do you think about a certain person returning to social media? I'm keeping an eye on it. His account is private right now. Obviously, I don't follow him, but I'm hoping we see an apology sometime in the future. And I'm sure it's going to be oh my gosh, another spammer. I really am famous. There we go. But what was I talking about? Oh, so I anticipate his apology to be terrible and not addressing the issue at all. And honestly, any apology he could give would honestly be like too little too late, but it would be a start. I did hear he got put on probation for what he did, so at least some action was taken. Were you ever interested in Strawberry Shortcake dolls? Thoughts on the Strawberry Shortcake reboot and favorite era for her? Yes, I loved Strawberry Shortcake when I was little. I definitely plan to make a video like I did for the Polly Pocket one. I want to make a video of all the different generations of Strawberry Shortcake and going into detail about them. My favorite generation is probably, I believe it's the 3rd generation, because that's just the one that's most nostalgic for me. Oh my god. Sorry, guys, for that. Yeah, definitely need to get moderators. I'd never anticipated something like that happening on one of my streams, but I guess I can kind of see it as a good thing now. I don't know where they come from, honestly. They just see a live stream happening and decide to hijack it, I guess. But yeah, strawberry shortcake is kind of special to me because it's one of the lines where I had it when I was little, and my mother also had it when she was little. So as I was getting the dolls, she would tell me about like what the characters were like in her time, and it has a lot of really good memories for me. So I really love strawberry shortcake. As for the reboot, I have some thoughts on it. I really want to see the dolls before I say anything like super definitive, but I think the cartoon as it is cute. It just doesn't really feel like strawberry shortcake a whole lot to me, so I'm a little bit disappointed in it, but we'll see where it goes. It's still very fresh in this stage, so it might evolve into something better. So we'll see. Thoughts on Hairdorables and Hair Amazing? I love Hairdorables and I love Hair Amazing. I collected a ton of Hairdorables from like series 3 on. I bought a whole lot of them and I really, really loved them. And it wasn't so bad, the surprise aspect of me, because I was a member of a group where we would swap dolls that we got. If we got one we didn't want it, they got one they wanted. So I really also really like the community around that. And I'm really happy with what I have as far as Hairdorables go. I think the brand's kind of done now, which is disappointing. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get any more Hair Amazing dolls because the last release was so limited. So unfortunately, it's gone, and I'm really sad about it actually because I love those dolls. Do I have any cool custom dolls? I do not. Customization was just something I was never that into because I was so scared of like messing up one of my dolls being a beginner at it and everything. But now that I'm in a stage in my life where buying an extra or buying a naked doll isn't that big of a deal, I would like to get into more customization. I feel like I say this on every stream where I'm like, yeah, I plan to get into it, and then I don't. But I just need to find the time because customizing is a very time-consuming thing, especially rerouting. Takes hours upon hours upon hours, but it is still something that I want to get into. Just the idea of having something, a doll that you made yourself is such a cool idea. And I love looking at customs and watching videos of them. So do you think it's normal that people buy one singular box Wings Mattel doll for $2,100? No, I think that is absolute madness, and the people are insane for that. But I can't tell them to stop. I wish I could, because I love the Mattel Wings dolls, and I really want some of the lesser known lines, like the sleepover one or the beach one is super cute, but I'm never going to be able to afford them. And it makes me sad. Unless I like strike oil one day. Do I think the doll community is toxic? On occasion. I think the community is great at its core. Like the community I've built here on my channel, I'm so happy with because I love my subscribers so much. I love the engagement I get with my videos, and the feedback I get is so cool. But there are certain subsets, people that are very toxic, especially people who stand one doll line really hard and go out of their way to insult everything that's not exactly like that doll line, constantly comparing dolls to other dolls, or even just like with Mermaid High, people saying they look low quality just because they're not an MGA product. It's always going to be something that happens, unfortunately. Do I like Precure, and do I plan on getting the dolls? Yes, I love Precure. It's one of my favorite shows. I own one doll. It's the Cure Summer doll. I want to get more. It's just importing shipping from Japan, especially now when the mail's like crazy, can get pretty expensive. So I'm waiting on it a little bit. But I have been watching a lot of tropical rouge, and I love it. I know people are complaining about it because Laura is getting so much screen time, but I love her, so I don't mind at all. Would I ever do a collection video one day talking about special dolls you have? So I said a little bit earlier that my collection, the way it's set up, because I share my room with my boyfriend, like it's all just kind of against one wall, so it'd be a pretty quick video, but that's a good idea actually, that like I should pick out certain dolls and kind of talk more in depth about them and the memories I have with them. So now that you've mentioned that and given me that idea, that might be something I do in the future. So thank you for the suggestion. Is there media out for Mermaid High this week? Yeah, apparently their webisode just premiered. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's cute. So have you seen the hashtag Rika-chan dolls? I have. I wasn't able to get them because they were announced at a point in time when I was kind of broke, but they are super cute. The older ones, yeah, I really like them. Do you have any Barbie movie dolls? I have only one Barbie doll, and that is the Daphne doll from the Scooby-Doo movie. She's one of my favorite dolls I have. I definitely need to get more Barbie dolls. I had a bunch in my older collection that I lost, unfortunately. So, like Monster High, getting back into Barbie is just kind of overwhelming because there's just so many of them. But it is something I want to do, hopefully, when I get more space. Do you recommend any doll shows? The best, probably media associated with a fashion doll, is probably the Ever After High series and movies. Like, they're just on a completely different level from every single other doll movie. If you haven't seen them yet, I definitely recommend it. I know a lot of people don't like the dolls. I cannot mention Ever After High with like 1,000 people in my mentions being like, oh my God, they're so ugly. Their faces are so flat and hideous. And I'm like, I don't care. I still like them. I think their faces are fine. And I love the characters in the movies. So shut up. Oh, bye, Jasmine. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. So here are her glasses now that I've spent literally 20 minutes fighting with her box, but they're really cute. You don't want to meet the person that says that about Ever After High. Don't go on Twitter then, because Ever After High is not popular on Twitter at all. Like, a lot of people will say they like the movies, but don't like the dolls. And, like, I guess I get it to some point, but, like, just let people talk about it if they want. We don't have to spend every week talking about how you think Ever After High is ugly. We get it. Did you get Cure Summer in box? I did get her in box. I haven't unboxed her yet because I think she just looks so pretty in there in the box. And it's not often I keep dolls in box, so I like to have just a few here and there to switch things up a little bit. But she's really cute. I really, really like the pre-Cure dolls. They have really adorable faces, and they look well made, although I can't comment on the quality because I haven't taken her out of the box yet, but I'm sure she's fine. Oh yeah, I have heard the pre-Cure dolls are really easy to open too compared to American dolls. Like, you can kind of just see it the way she's set up in the box. It looks like she just kind of slides out. So I got my Cure Summer doll from a site called Ami, AMI. They sell a lot of Japanese goods, mostly figures, but they have a lot of clothes and dolls as well. They had the hashtag Rika-chan dolls on there too, so it's a good place to look. Second hand would probably be Mandarake. they have some cool stuff every now and then for really, really good prices. Because like you can find like a super old doll with like a single dent in her box, and it'll be discounted like 80%. So definitely look there. Yes, the Mermaid High packaging is so rough. I have been fighting with these dolls this entire stream because I'm already bad at opening dolls. I mutilate these boxes because that's just the kind of person I am, and it has not been easy for me. Are LOL dolls considered dolls? Depends on what you consider a doll. I would say yes, but I wouldn't consider them fashion dolls. They're tiny baby dolls to me. But some people would consider them fashion dolls just because the concept of changing their outfits, having removable clothes is what makes a fashion doll. I feel like I just ran a marathon getting her out of this box. And she's still not completely out. Oh my god. I would like to preserve the art because the art on this box is so cool. It's like one of my favorite doll box arts ever. But the way I open dolls, that's not going to happen. It's not. This box is done for. Oh my goodness. You ever do a video ranking all the holiday Barbie movies, maybe in time for the Christmas season? So I did do a video just ranking the modern Barbie movies in general, which does have a lot of the holiday movies on it. But I just don't like Christmas movies that much. And the Barbie movies were no exception. Like Barbie Perfect Christmas was almost at the very bottom of that ranking. I did not like that movie. But I do. There's a cat. What? What? Let me see if I can grab her. I know you guys would want to see her. Here she is. This is Ivy. Say hi. She is my grumpy, grumpy old kitty. And she is shedding like crazy right now. Oh, but she's my baby. I love her so much. She is glamorous, isn't she? All right. Go on and do Ivy things now. Oh. I just fed you, so I know you're not hungry. All right. If you asked any questions before I shut off my cat, feel free to ask again, because I know that was a big distraction. But oh my gosh, she is finally free. And I will say her hair feels a little better than Sierra's, and I think it's just because Sierra's kind of has those curls in it that get tangled really easily, but hers, it feels pretty silky, pretty nice, and it's not coming out as easily as Sierra's did. So Mari's a win in my book. I think she definitely has the best face, and I think it's just the way it's proportioned looks better than the other dolls, but she's so cute. I love this one so much. How do you feel about the Lol Omg dolls? I love Lol Omg. Haven't featured them on this channel yet, but I will eventually. Like I said, I do want to do an unboxing of the Movie Magic 2-pack because that one looks super, super cool. And I'm kind of obsessed with it. So I'll probably do that one on stream once I get my hands on it. How many Rainbow High dolls do you have? I don't know the exact number. Probably less than most collectors because I'm I'm not a completionist collector, so I really only get the dolls that I want. And usually it's only like 2 or 3 out of a series, never the whole series. So if I had to guess, I'd probably have around 20, I think. Favorite Ever After High movies? Probably Spring Unsprung or Dragon Games. I really, really like Dragon Games because that was such a big turning point, like for the series. Like that movie was so intense and amazing to watch, and I still remember seeing, the kiss for the very first time and like just going into hysterics and like not even being able to focus on the rest of the movie because I was like, oh my God, did that actually just happen? And I can remember that moment so vividly. So it's still a very special movie to me. What do you think of Be Kind dolls? I think they're okay. They're huge, so I don't really have the space for them, so I probably wouldn't get them. And their screening is a little weird. Their eye placement is just a little bit odd. So I can see why people are in love with them, but I think they look fine for what they are. They're just not for me. I do think the new one that they teased a little bit with I think she had cat ears. She looked kind of cute. Am I the only one who finds Rainbow High dolls difficult to open? No, I find them not as difficult as this, but they are kind of a chore to get open. So something interesting about Mari is that this little segment of her skirt here, this kind of a tweedy material, is actually a separate material from the rest of the leather on her skirt. So that's a really cool detail. Like they didn't need to do that, but they sure did. Do I have any movie celebrity dolls? Unless the Daphne doll that vaguely looks like the Daphne from the live action movie counts, I don't. I'm not really interested in dolls that are modeled after celebrities because they always look just a little bit off to me. But here it is. Here's her socks. How long do I think Rainbow High will last? Again, that really depends on what else comes into the market and if Rainbow High is able to compete with it or not. I think most things Rainbow High will be able to hold its ground against, but I also don't see it lasting as long as something like Bratz or Barbie. Although it seems like MGA does kind of want to make it like its big flagship brand a little bit, especially since it seems to be appealing a lot to collectors and they kind of want to be that collector's brand. So we'll see. I think they need to up their game a little bit if they want to last a little longer. But that's a whole discussion. But do I have a preference, Mari or Sierra? So between the two, it is probably Mari. I usually really am drawn to the characters with pink colors a lot more. But I think Mari's outfit and design is just a lot more interesting to me. I really love the kind of goth elements of it. And like she is like a proper goth doll. We don't get those very often, so it's really cool to see. What's your favorite video you've made so far? Probably the video I made over Earring Magic Kin, because that was just such a fun video to research and try to pick out what was true, what was not. Because that's just one of my favorite things to do, really, is that kind of research. And I had a lot of fun making it and seeing like, just the response to it. So that's probably my favorite video. Do I think you'll make a video about Jim? Definitely. I need to someday because Jim is so iconic, but she's just not talked about very often. And oh my God, another spam bot. I'm so sorry. That keeps happening. There we go. Thank you, Anna, for congratulating me. It makes me really happy too, and I'm happy you found my channel, and I'm really happy you're enjoying it. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, here's her shoes, by the way, which are super cool. I do think the shoes could use a little more like painted details, but for what they are, they still look really cool. They're still very, very detailed. Favorite Descendants movie? Probably Descendants 3, purely for the song that they gave to the Sleeping Beauty girl whose name, Audrey, her song. But I don't think any of the movies are particularly good. Fun to watch, but objectively good, no. But I really love Audrey's song. Like, that's actually in my personal playlist to this day because it goes off. Like, there's no denying it, regardless of what you think of Descendants. MGA lines need some QC if they really want to go for the collector's market. I agree. And the thing is, if you contact them about issues regarding, quality control on your dolls, they'll be like, oh, these aren't collector level products. Like, you should expect some errors every now and then. It's like, you can't have it both ways. I love these stands because they're super cheap, but they are so hard to put together. I've never seen any of the Zombies movies, but I used to work at Build-A-Bear, and they would play the zombie songs from the movies 17 million times in a row, so I honestly don't know if I could sit through the actual movie or not. But I guess I should check it out one of these days. Thank you, Beatrice. I really appreciate that you are enjoying my channel. And thank you for coming to my stream. Yeah, I have noticed their quality control has just seemed to have taken a nosedive, and I know people like in the Facebook groups and stuff get tired of people complaining about it constantly, and there are some people who are just like super picky for no reason. But there are also a lot of legitimate problems I see too that really aren't getting addressed well by the company. So, and those people that are super picky for no reason just make it harder for real problems to get taken care of in the long run. But, would you talk a little bit about your ghost tour job? Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. There's a few big locations here in the city that are, rumored to be haunted, to have experienced some kind of supernatural activity. And I just lead people from location to location to location, tell them kind of theatrically the stories about it. But one thing I really like about my company is that it was started by someone who's local to the city, who's really familiar with the history. And a lot of the stories that we tell come from real people and not just like, that big game of telephone that ghost stories usually get passed down to. And I don't know. I love spooky stories. I love ghost stories. So I love this job a lot. And I get to meet people from all over and talk with them about like if they've experienced any hauntings or if they have big haunted locations in their towns. And it's a lot of fun. I really, really love it. Ooh. Here they are. Ooh. These stands aren't balanced perfectly, but they get the job done. Yeah, MGA dolls, they're really great. Like, they are objectively really good, but their quality control just leaves a lot to be desired lately. Like, I'm really scared of ordering dolls from them now because I don't know what I'm going to get. And Also, distribution has been really, really messy, so it makes finding them in stores really hard. Like, I don't think a single Slumber Party doll has touched my area of the country, and I don't know when they're coming, so it's a little frustrating, especially for collectors. So I want to hear from you guys. Who do you like better, Mari or Sierra? So I've actually personally been pretty lucky with finding dolls in person. I think the closest I've ever gotten to a big defect was my winter break Jade, who for some reason is just like stained all over her body. And I meant to contact MGA about that, but I never got around to it. But it's not a huge deal because her clothes cover most of it. So that's on me. I mean, it is on MGA, but it's on me for not having contacted them about it. Do I play Animal Crossing? I did for a little bit. I don't so much anymore. My boyfriend and I, we used to have 2 Switches, but then we decided we don't need 2 Switches. So we sold one, and I gave up my town so he could have his own town on the Switch that we kept. So sometimes I'll play around on his, but I don't have my own village anymore. But I am excited for the DLC. We are going to get the Happy Home Paradise. It looks a lot of fun. So it looks like a lot of people prefer Mari, but Sierra's getting a lot of praise too. And I pretty much agree. I think just design wise, Mari is a lot more interesting, but Sierra is still so cute. And I think these dolls are great. I think people are just mean. They're not low quality and they're not cheap. They feel really, really great, but they are a little overpriced, just a little. Have you ever gotten judged or bullied for your love of dolls? Um, I kept it hidden most of my life from people that are like in my life. So I never really gotten bullied for it per se, but I've had plenty of people in my family kind of mean about it because they just don't understand it. That's kind of unavoidable. You know, I've been told it's really creepy that you collect dolls or that dolls scare them, so they don't know how I could like them, and they're just really insulting about it. But you know, where I am in life now, it doesn't really bother me because what are they going to do? They can't take these away from me. So, you know, it's just a principle to live by. You know, do what makes you happy as long as it's not hurting anyone else. Who cares? How's the articulation on them? So, the arm articulation is okay. It doesn't go quite at a full 90-degree angle. And it is a little weird. They don't have wrist articulation, but it's not a deal breaker. But their legs are kind of the same way. It been kind of like how the old Rainbow High articulation was before it improved it. It's around that level of posability, except no wrist articulation. But their bodies, just in general, they feel very solid. They feel well made. It feels fine. Sierra just wants to fall over so badly. Spin Master is a cool company. I just wish they stuck with their brands a little more than they usually do. Like the ones they like historically, just they'll have these really cool concepts and they just don't invest in them. So I'm really hoping they stick around because I would love to see more characters from them, and apparently we're going to get more characters, so I'm stoked for that. Like, I'm definitely going to get them if we get more characters. Have you put the tails on them yet? Yeah, they came in the tails, but honestly, I kind of prefer their human forms. Like, I don't know. I love that they have these really fashionable outfits with just like these little hints of mermaid in them. Like, that's everything I wanted. They're perfect, honestly. Like I knew I would like them, but I didn't know. People just kept saying that they felt so cheap and that they didn't like how they looked, and like it kind of scared me. But like having them here in person, I'm in love with them. I'm really, really excited to see where this brand goes. They're called Mermaid High. Do you think Barbie will be able to keep up with the competition in the long run? I mean, Barbie is Barbie. Barbie has that legacy behind her. She has her name, and I think that's always going to kind of keep her on a level that other lines can't quite reach, regardless of how the actual dolls are. So that's definitely a big advantage. And yeah, I think she's going to be able to keep up with competition because of that and not necessarily because of what the brand is doing, if that makes sense. Do you think Mermaid High is worth the price? So I guess technically they do come with like two outfits with the tails, but I probably still would have placed them like around $20 rather than 27. So they are slightly overpriced, but I think if that's what you're willing to pay, I think they're worth it, you know? Thoughts on the designer Jasmine doll? I don't like her that much. Just her outfit seems like just a little much to me, and I know they were going for that big over the top kind of red carpet glam kind of look, but I think the Jasmine, the Aladdin, the movie iconography just kind of gets lost in all of that, and I wish it was just kind of a more sleek, more elegant aesthetic, and it would have showed off because she just doesn't look like Jasmine to me that much, honestly. So I'm not that into her, but I'm excited to see the other dolls for sure. I think objectively she's a good doll. Just personally, she's not my taste, you know. Have I seen the new LOL movie? I actually watched it last night for the first time. And like it has no plot. It's just like 40 minutes of them showing off the dolls and their personalities, which I thought was actually, if they were going to make an LOL movie, that's probably the way to do it. So I thought it was kind of cute. Like if I was like 4 years old, I can see me watching that over and over and over just to pass time because it's a fun, colorful, exciting movie regardless. I am just a little old for it though, but will you collect any male dolls? I don't really like boy dolls. The only boy dolls I find myself drawn to are the LOL OMG boys, and that's because usually in doll lines, boy dolls, they're so masculine and they're like all sports and really buff and strong and wear sports clothes, and like that's not an aesthetic I'm into, but I like that the LOL OMG dolls, they're a lot more, I mean, they're not gender non-conforming. They're still very clearly male presenting male dolls, but they're not, I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but they're not super masculine in the way male dolls usually are, and I just really like the look of them. Yeah, I did like how they left it open for a series with the LOL OMG movie, and I really, really like how with the movie and the webisode series they're doing, Royal B has become kind of like the mascot of the series because I can't think of any doll line that's not like a specialty doll line where a black doll with like big curly hair is the mascot of the line. So I think that's really, really cool what they're doing. And I definitely appreciate that. They're more stylish and less jockey. Yes, that's pretty much exactly what I was trying to say. I don't know why it was so difficult for me to say it, but yes, that's why I like the male dolls from Lol Omg. They're very stylish. They actually fit into like fashion trends, and they're not trying so hard to be the boy equivalent of all the female characters. So it's really, really cool to see. They have a younger body type, not the usual buff, hyper masculine type. Yeah, I also really like that too. Which with Monster High and such, like it was always kind of weird to me that the male dolls in the animation were super buff, but their dolls were like twigs. Except for like, I don't know, Jackson apparently was canonically super muscular, which was super weird to me, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they have a lot of personality, the Lol Omg dolls, and it looks like they fit their personality, and their personality is different from what boy dolls usually are, and that's what I like about them. Bye, 90s Grunge Queen. Thank you for coming to my stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Have you seen art of the new Mermaid Kin? So, I don't like the Mermaid Kin that much because I thought the other options were a lot better. Like, from the poll deciding which doll was going to get made, he was like literally my last choice to be selected. But if people like him, that's good. I just find it weird that poll was kind of hijacked by people who don't really collect dolls. They just saw a merman and was like, oh, that's cool, I'll vote for him. And now the doll is only available on the Mattel Creations website and isn't really widely available to people who don't collect dolls. So I just kind of feel like the people weren't really given what they wanted. So I'm not extremely happy about him. And the quality of him doesn't look that great either. It doesn't look as awful as people are saying, but he doesn't look great. Oh, thank you, Electricola. I love the Mermaid High dolls too. I could just sit here and brush her hair. We're getting so spoiled with good doll hair lately. Like, there was a period in time where most dolls had super cheap, super frizzy, greasy hair. And now it seems like there's so many dolls that have just such great brushable hair out there. And I'm happy about it. So I personally don't have any gym dolls. I want one. I really want one in box because the boxes are so cool and so aesthetic, but they are so expensive. Even like secondhand and nude, they're not super hard to find, like thrifting and such, but like I said, my area is super dry. So it's not super high on my priority list, but I really, really do want like a classic gym doll. I would like one of the Integrity ones too, because I think they're super cool and I love their faces, but that's not happening ever because they're like $600 secondhand. How expensive are the Mermaid High dolls? I really want Sierra, but I'm short on cash. So they're about $27 USD. So they are kind of pricey compared to other dolls around there. I don't know. It's difficult because I really, really love them, but I am having a hard time justifying that price. So it really just comes down to personal preference in the end. Do I have the original Bratz doll characters? I don't have any of the... If you're asking about the first edition dolls, I don't have any of them because I don't like the first edition dolls that much. But I do have just the characters. I have Chloe's, I have Jade's, Sasha's, and Yasmin's. Because obviously, like, how do you collect Bratz and not have any of them? Barbie just keeps recycling ideas. I agree. And I saw someone on Twitter point this out the other day that Barbie dolls, they don't really have they don't have branding anymore. Like, you look back at classic Barbie and even like 2000s Barbie, and like on their box it would say like Winter Princess Barbie, Fairy Princess Barbie. But nowadays you look at a Barbie and there's like no name, no explanation of who or what she's supposed to be. She's just Barbie gardening or making ice cream or Fairytopia, which I'm not a huge fan of. What do you think of River? River is a weird character because he's very, very boring in that he's the perfect guy everyone in school has a crush on with no flaws, and he only exists to be a love interest. So, and I don't think his doll's that cute either, so he's not my favorite by any means. But there are some male characters like Aiden who are a lot more interesting in the series, so hopefully River's not a standard of what the male Rainbow High characters are going to be like. Fashionista Lisa Frank Disaster Mess Barbie, you are so right. That is modern Barbie summed up pretty well. Favorite classic Barbie movie? Classic. Probably Swan Lake, because it's just the most nostalgic for me. I haven't rewatched the classic one movies in a while, so I don't know if like objectively that would be the best one, but it is the most nostalgic for me. I have such vivid memories of the Odette doll with the light up wings and holding her while I'm watching the movie, and I just love it a lot. Do I ship Jade and Bella? I definitely do ship Jade and Bella. It's so weird how they haven't acknowledged it in so long in the webisodes, because they were, frankly, the Instagram account was teasing it leading up to season 2 for months upon months, and now that it's here, they're just ignoring it. So I'm curious to see what they're planning. I think they're kind of holding out for a big moment because we never got a proper reunion between them that they were setting up. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on exactly. Hopefully we didn't get baited, because that will make me mad. Do I have any Pinky Cooper dolls? I don't anymore. I used to have a few, but I really like Pinky Cooper dolls. They're one of my favorite brands because they're just so unique and interesting. We're about to hit an hour and a half in here, so probably in about 15 minutes, I'm probably going to say bye because I have not eaten dinner yet, and I still have some stuff I need to do around the house. But it has been a lot of fun with you guys, and again, I'm so happy I hit 10,000 subscribers. The reality of that is still hitting me in the face, but again, thank you guys so much for coming and everything. But we still have a few more minutes if you guys have any more questions for me. A prom pack with Jade in a pantsuit and Bella in a cute prom dress. That would be so cute. I really hope we get like a formal dress line soon. I know people were holding out for like the runway line. I don't think that's going to happen because I really don't see how they can be replicated in doll form necessarily, but like a formal dress line in the vein of Formal Funk from Bratz would be so cute. And Jade in like a modified pantsuit, like Claudine from Sweet 1600 vibes would be, oh my gosh, like I can see it so vividly in my head, and you're getting me excited for something that doesn't exist, but oh, it's so cute. And Bella in a prom dress, oh my gosh, like, yes. Or Bella in a suit and Jade in a dress. That would be so cute too. Oh my gosh, like Bella in like a Chanel pantsuit or Chanel inspired pantsuit, Jade in like a leather and lace kind of dress. Like, the ideas are there. They're swimming around in here, and I probably need to draw this now that I'm thinking about it. I'm so inspired. And thank you guys for all the congratulations too. I really appreciate it. And just you guys being here and watching me talk about dolls for like an hour and a half. Like, In my life, I never thought I would have people that would just want to listen to me talk about dolls, but here we are, and like, it makes me really happy. So thank you guys. I really wish they would slow down on pushing out the dolls. I agree, and a lot of people have pointed out that compared to like Monster High or the old Bratz release schedules, Rainbow High isn't actually putting out that many dolls, but it seems like they are because MGA really likes to do this thing where they're just silent for like the first half of the year, and then the last half of the year they dump everything on us, and it seems like they're pushing out a lot, and it becomes a lot more overwhelming. But I agree, a more steady release schedule throughout the year would be a lot more desirable and a lot easier to deal with. And I guess the reason they do that is because they just want all their stock out for the holiday season. But I don't see how that's necessarily sustainable because people can't afford, especially for Christmas, to buy everything at once because they're going to have to buy gifts for other people too. So I'm not sure what goes through their heads when they think about that, honestly. But who am I to tell MGA what to do, right? Why do you think so few doll lines besides Barbie do fashion packs now? I think fashion packs outside of collectors don't sell super well, especially in lines like today where characters have very established personalities and fashion styles, and these fashion packs are marketed towards them specifically. Children might feel like they have to have this specific doll before they buy this fashion pack, and it probably becomes a big deal for like parents as well. But whereas collectors, we'll see an outfit, we'll think, oh, that looks cute on this doll, I'll buy it for that, even though it's not meant for them. But kids, they might be a little pickier about it, because I remember being young and I would want this outfit which was meant for this doll, and that was just me. But other kids might think differently. I don't know the exact answer exactly, but that's what comes to my head when I think about it. And yeah, they're just not as marketable as well. Like, they really fit for a line with Bratz where characters don't have super defined fashion styles and can really share clothes between characters with no problem. You can just put out a fashion pack not meant for a certain character, can go on any of them, but like with something like Rainbow High, where characters can only wear one color, you release a fashion pack and it can only really be for that character. And of course, you can buy it and put it on any character you want, but from a marketing standpoint, it's going to have to be for that character, if that makes sense. I personally would rather have the separate dolls to display because the hairstyles look different. I don't really change my dolls' outfits that much. I actually agree. I don't really switch up doll outfits either, because usually I like having dolls like as they came in the box. Unless there's like a second outfit they come with, like with Rainbow High, where I might like that one better. That's usually the most I'll do as far as customization goes. I don't really switch clothes among my dolls and such, but that's just me. Other collectors, obviously, they're very different. They like to put all kinds of clothes on all kinds of dolls, and I respect that, but it's just not me. Yeah, I did really actually enjoy the Monster High fashion packs because with Monster High, there were so many dolls, and like there were a few dolls down the line, especially with budget dolls, that I would buy just to have them, and then I would kind of not like them as much as I got more dolls, and fashion packs were just a good way to kind of spruce them up and make something new out of them. And I remember enjoying that a lot. I did that a lot with Abby dolls, because there were a lot of Abby dolls that I bought. And for some reason, like, I just didn't like her dolls that much, but I would keep buying them. And I think I liked her dolls in theory, but in person, they just weren't that great. Her skin texture was really weird. Her hair always had a bunch of tinsel, and over time, I would just not like these Abby dolls much anymore. But she had a cute I think she had 2 fashion packs that were really cute that I remember after putting them on the dolls, I really liked them. But that's just me. Oh, and yeah, a big contribution to it, as we're on the subject, is that again, I'm someone who's not a completionist, so I only buy dolls I really like. So I tend to be a lot pickier with what I buy. So the dolls that I get, I know I already really like how they look. So I'm not inclined to change that up as much compared to someone who buys every doll in a series and they might buy a doll they don't really like as much. So they're more inclined to change up their outfit. So I can see them being more drawn to fashion packs in that way. But for me personally, they're just probably not something I would end up buying a lot. But what's your favorite part about doll collecting? Just the sense of having like this collection that's curated specifically to you and your taste and your personality is so cool. And just with dolls, there's so much choice, and it's just so much fun for me picking out which ones are my favorites, which ones I want to buy, and which ones I want to hunt down. It's just a very exciting experience for me. So that's definitely my favorite part about it. But I also really like them just from a character design and a fashion design standpoint. I think they're very interesting. Like they're just dolls, you know? I love coming home from work to live in a toy box. Same, like just being surrounded by these objects that I've again curated and collected to fit me and my personality, and just being able every now and then just being able to look at them and remember which one is why I got that one, the memories I have associated with that one. It's I don't know if you guys probably know the YouTuber X Canadensis, but she describes her doll room often as like a museum. And I definitely get that vibe, even though my collection is just kind of like in a corner. It's that idea of just having something that's so personal and curated and just having a story behind every single object, if that makes sense at all. I'm kind of rambling, but I hope you get my vibe. Ooh. Oh, I don't know if I showed her purse off or not, but it's super cool. It has like this skeleton mermaid on it that I love so much. I want this bag like in real life. It's so goth. I love that we have a proper goth doll. Like those are so rare, but here she is. Yeah, she's kind of wobbly. But I don't know, just looking at them again, like there's so much effort put into their designs and their characters, and it clearly shows. And they have cool painted accessories and glasses and mermaid tails. And I don't know why people were calling them cheap. I honestly don't. They're great. They're a little overpriced, but they're great. Like, I hope I better not see anyone calling these overpriced who are also paying $50 for a Rainbow High doll. It's just interesting how people will justify one thing over another. No shade intended. It is genuinely interesting. Which dolls do you think the Mermaid High could swap clothes with? So I saw that they're like a weird body, not weird, but they're somewhere between like Monster High's super stick thin bodies and Rainbow High's kind of curvier bodies. So clothes won't fit either one exactly, but I think best bet probably would be Monster High clothes. I don't know though. Rainbow High clothes tend to be very, very tight on the doll, so they might fit them kind of well. We'll have to see. I do feel like for the price point, they should come with stands. I do agree with that. Oh, thank you, Mimi Memes. That's such a good compliment. Yes, Labyrinth, I completely agree. Like the puns, like, hold on. The fact she has a pet shark named Sharkira, is such strong Monster High vibes, and I love everything about it. Like they really hit the mark, even though it's not personally the complete direction I would have done designing these dolls. I still see the thought and the love put into them, and I really, really appreciate them. They're so, so cute. Do you collect Na Surprise? I did for a little bit. I find them, this is going to sound so hypocritical, but I find them really, really overpriced. I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot with pricing the small dolls at $20, because the big dolls now have to be more than that, and the bigger dolls are so expensive. They're way out of my budget for what they are. I like them, but I find them kind of difficult to display, and they're just a little bit unwieldy to have around, so I haven't bought one in a while. But I did think the latest line they had with the rabbit girl and the pink bear girl were really cute, and I almost bought them, but I didn't because I just had other things higher up on my priority list. So I haven't been able to get Mari's laptop open. I might have to pry it open later. I think her earrings are in here, but it's not popping open like Sierra's does. Oh my gosh. Oops. Okay. I guess I broke it. Or maybe, I don't think it's me. I think this button, this release just gets stuck. The animation looks amazing. I need to, like, probably as soon as I log off here, I'm probably going to watch the first episode of Mermaid High, because it looks really, really cute. I was impressed with the trailer I saw, just the animation and everything. It's giving me, like, animated H2O vibes, but not the H2O animated series, because that was terrible. But this one looks good, so. Oh, you have to put them in water? That makes sense, actually. Could you show us closer up of Mari's socks and shoes? Yeah. So she has, like, kind of these basic striped socks. I think I own socks just like these, actually. And then she has these platform heels, which you can't see, but they do have molded details, like a scale pattern on the heel and the platform. And she does have molded buckles, but they're not painted. Are they printed or woven in lines? They look printed to me. Are you vaccinated? I am vaccinated. I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and it knocked me out for like 3 straight days. I got so sick, but it was worth it. I'm happy to be vaccinated. If I did cosplay, I'd cosplay as Mari. That sounds so cute. If you do it, you'll definitely have to show me pictures of it, because her outfit is everything. I would love to see it recreated in real life. It's okay if they don't speak to you. Not every doll is going to be to everyone's tastes, and that's okay. It's okay to just say, you know, this doll isn't really my thing. But it's people who are like, for some reason, a doll not being to their personal sensibilities is like a personal insult to them, is where it crosses a line for me. But obviously not everyone is going to like every doll. But we are coming up here to an hour and 45 minutes. So probably going to wind down, say my goodbyes now and my thank yous for the millionth time. So thank you guys so much for coming out to this stream. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, watching my videos, leaving comments, engaging with them. It's so cool to see, like, people in this chat that I also recognize from my comments. Like, it's not something I ever thought would happen, but, like, it's happening, and I'm so happy about it. But again, thank you guys. so much. And thank you guys for coming to the stream. And I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like I said, I'm probably going to do one not too long after this one, just to make up for the fact that my schedule was so whack. But thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great night. Goodbye.